Whenever one has a fear, he is inviting danger by imagining it in his mind and then preparing for it. So the desire is there, it's in the mind, and so the mind creates a little movie for it. It creates a picture, it creates that reality, and then resists the possibility. By doing this, one's mind becomes negatively one-pointed, and then that fear is not under his control. When one studies the mind, he will come to know the positive and negative aspects it contains. The negative mind has exactly as much power in being destructive as the positive mind has in being useful. That is why fears which are unexamined grow stronger and stronger every day until finally one loses his self-reliance. There's that term again. You lose your self-reliance and you're being run by what? Those unconscious fears. Which are basically what? Desires that I don't know how to fulfill. The desire of the desire to keep what I have, and the desire to gain what I want but that I don't have. And the fear comes because of knowing the possibility that those outcomes may not be that way. I may not get to keep what I have, and I may not get what I want. One can learn to be fearless, but to develop fearlessness, inner strength is needed, because truth and fearlessness walk hand in hand. In order for one to achieve the state of fearlessness, he must examine the nature and cause of his fears. To examine his own fears closely, he will have to go beyond his thinking process. And what he will find underneath all of those fears is karma. The desire is there. The karma itself, remember, karma is desire itself. It's that every desire for this or this or this or this has in common karma. It's all desire. And when we first started reading this, Swamiji talked about Buddha's Four Noble Truths. Well, that's the heart of it. There is suffering, and it has a cause. What is the cause? Desire. What's the solution? Learn how to deal with it. And then this is all a process about how to do that. To examine one's fears closely, he will have to go beyond his thinking process, remembering that the thinking process was determined by the emotion and the fear, driven by the four primitive, driven by self-preservation. In order to achieve the state of fearlessness, he must first examine the nature and cause of his fears. To examine his own fears closely, he will have to go beyond his thinking process. When he does this, he will find that the greatest fear is that of fear itself. I don't want fear, so therefore I don't have fear. Big lie. But this is the way mind works. It doesn't want to have fear. Somebody will say, no, I used to have some fears, but I don't have fears anymore. All gone. Big lie. Means you don't understand fears. Do you know, if you don't remember this, Swamiji wrote Living with the Himalayan Masters. And he tells a story in there that when his master told him, leave India and go teach all those fools, he said to him something like, well, what do you want me to teach them? Do you want me to teach them about our religion? And he says that the teacher told him, no, you foolish boy. Foolish boy. He said, first, teach them about fear. Second, teach them about self-realization. This is why. The first thing that he was told to teach all of us is about fear. We want to skip over that. I want to know about self-realization. No, first you have to understand fear. I don't have any fear. Don't tell me about that. Tell me about enlightenment. I want to be enlightened. I'm a good student. I'm so good that you should be happy to have me. Aren't you glad that I've shown up in your life so I can be your student? Now, show me how to get enlightened. He wants to tell us about fear. I don't want to know about fear. I don't have any fear. I used to have fear, but I conquered that. I was afraid of flying, but I got on the airplane and I conquered it. Or something like that. Then I parachuted, and then I really was fearless. But that was the first instruction. First, teach them about fear. The greatest fear is of fear itself. But fear really doesn't exist at all. It is like the darkness, which is actually only the absence of light. The sun has never seen darkness. It is he who does not see who is in the dark. So one should learn to look at his fears and examine them properly. Food is the third primitive fountain of emotion, and proper food habits can make one emotionally, and poor food habits can make one emotionally upset and physically ill. The first control a teacher will give his student is the control of the palate. One should look for the food value in what he eats, not the taste. In his instructions, the teacher uses a bitter pill with a blessed effect, but the world uses a sweet pill with a poisonous effect. I remember one of the clearest things I ever heard about this, it still sticks with me, not that I'm always good about following, but it's still a guiding force for me, was the comment that food is for cells. Cells. C-E-L-L-S. Food is not for somebody called me. Food is for the cells of the body. The ego likes flavor and stores the memory patterns in the chitta on the basis of good and not good. So what constitutes good? What constitutes bad? Yuck. But it's a reminder that food is for the cells. Wait a minute.